Good afternoon, YouTube. Well, I thought I'd check in with y'all. I know you're probably tired of hearing about my garden. Although really, that's been keeping me pretty busy this summer and a few other things going on. I went out a couple hours ago. I thought I would have one basket of produce, so I took this out. Normally, we take 5-gallon buckets and big bushel baskets, but I didn't think there was that much. So I got to looking at my peppers, and I was starting to get a little nervous because I knew that they were ready to be picked, and I just wasn't sure what to do with them. Hill Gal has given me some suggestions. I've been looking at some recipes online. So I'm thinking I might go ahead and try to pickle some, maybe. When I heard of pickled peppers, I thought it was going to be like dill pickles, real strong dill. But now that I've looked at it, I don't think so. I'm going to use the tomatoes and some of the peppers and my onions and make rotel. I know most of it's green chilies, but you can use any kind of peppers for that. So I'll use a few of those jalapenos. I don't have very many jalapenos. I've never been able to grow them great big. I am so tickled with my bell peppers. This is probably about 1/4 of what's out there. I've never been able to grow bell peppers like that, so I'm very pleased. It must have just been a good year. The tomatoes, they are just loaded with green tomatoes. So I'm hoping everything continues to go through. So if anybody has any ideas on other suggestions what to do, I think I'm going to do the rotel. I might make some pickled jalapenos, but I think I've got some of those down in the pantry. I think I will take the banana peppers and also pickle those so we can use those for sandwiches. I might use them in my rotel. I'm just not sure yet what I'll do with that stuff. But I have another question too about my onions. They're still there and we've been using them, and when I have little visitors over, little kiddos, or of course any adult that comes over, but I like to share, and the kids get so tickled at those onions. My question on the onions is, are any of you onion experts out there? I've never cut them where I cut the tops off all the way. I've always just tied them with a string and hung them through the winter, but I want to try putting them in my onion bags this year and hang the bags. And do I cut the tops off as short as you do in the grocery store, and then do I also let them set out here and cure? I know by not letting them cure that they're going to rot, and so I am concerned about that. I just have to tell you, we're having another homestead supper. I think I've told you before, we raise our own meat. We raise beef cattle, and we were organic before organic was cool. I mean, we've never, ever done any of the whatever they give cattle. And I could go into a big rant, or any kind of animal. Our animals are just grass-fed all the way through. They get a little bit of protein supplement, and that's about it. But we're having Swiss steak. So I used 4 or 5 of my big peppers and like 5 of my big onions and a couple dozen of my tomatoes that I chopped up and put over it. Oh, did I mention we like peppers, onions, and tomatoes? I think that's my favorite part about the Swiss steak. I'll give my husband the meat. I'll take a little bit. But anyway, I have to tell you, turns out it was a meat tenderizer at a farm sale, and I didn't know what it was. And it's got, I don't know, probably 70 or 80 little blades that go down. I didn't know what the thing was, so I opened it up and stuck it in the palm of my hand and pushed down on it, and yep, it's a meat tenderizer, all right. I had all these little holes in my hand. I don't think it bled very much because I just was dinking around with it, but that's kind of the way I am around here. I always tell people the older I get, the blonder I get. Now, no offense to you natural blondes, but where I live, there's not very many natural blondes. We got a lot of blondes, but not very many natural. And also, I've got some patty pan squash. I'm not real sure what to do with that. I fried it, but It's not the healthiest. We had it. It was okay. I'm not a summer squash fan. So I'm going to look for a different recipe for that, and then we'll have, I'll make a gravy out of the meat drippings, and we'll have homestead potatoes and gravy and Swiss steak covered in vegetables, and I'll probably make another side vegetable with the patty pan squash. I'd like to make it a savory dish and not a sweet dish. So that's another thing. If anybody's got any suggestions on the patty pan, share them with me. All right, guys, thanks. Bye-bye.